We've positioned ourselves fairly well from a draft capital standpoint. We'll have at a pretty adequate salary cap space. So in the end, it's about making the right decisions, it's about making the best decisions, and it's about making the decisions that we feel are best, for our team and organization.
Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget.
YouTube, what is up, man? We are back talking NFL draft coverage. We are talking about none other than the Bayou City Boys' Houston Texans with the number 2 overall pick. I'm going to be pretty quiet in this video because I don't know the Houston Texans. Zach, what do you guys need?
Man, one of everything, to be honest with you.
Damn.
Literally one of every. Yeah, we do. You can't. I mean, that's kind of on the lower level of this list, but yeah, you need a running back. I kind of think about it all the time, and I really have a hard time seeing us leaving without a quarterback with that pick. Like me and Nick talked about it the other day. It was like, it depends on the mood that Caserio is in on that day. Like, what is feeding your thought process? Are you being logical and you want to help the team, or are you trying to be fly and want to be the smartest guy in the room? Because the logical thing to do at 2, if in the previous video we took Jalen Carter 1, right? Bears go Carter 1. Yeah. I'm taking Bryce Young at 2. Like, to me, that's a no-brainer. Barring the fact somebody trades ahead and goes 1 and takes Bryce Young, I still kind of living with the idea that we're going to take CJ Stroud 2. I don't see a scenario where we don't.
Yeah.
I don't think that we can't. I don't think there's any other option. I really don't.
So before you hop in, how much does the choice that you guys are going to make a head coach impact that decision? Like, do you think, like, if you take Sean Payton, like, it's quarterback no matter what? If you guys get a defensive-minded coach?
You go, Zach.
Go ahead, Zach.
I could go?
Yeah.
I think that's the question that going to get our coach hired, not if, is who. Because, like, I don't think that nobody can come here and think that we don't need a quarterback. Like, you have to use that pick on a quarterback. It could differentiate on who that quarterback is depending on who the coach, but I think no matter what, you get a quarterback. Like, bro, Caserio cannot start this season without a quarterback. It cannot happen. Like, you don't realize this. All that we talk about is like, fucking Mills sucks. So you can't say that for a season and not get a quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I do.
For sure, this is the season that you have to do something to try to make momentum forward. If you don't, you're gonna be like, I believe you'll be one of the only 4 franchise with 4 losing seasons in a row, like that are that terrible. And for me, it's just you feel with who they're bringing in legit actual coaching personnel this time around. It's not Hines Ward and freaking all these other people, Josh McCown. You feel like going in there, they're going quarterback. And there was a lot of worry, of course, with CJ Stroud taking so long. But it feels like 1A, 1B with them. Somebody jumps, they're going for the other one. If not, it feels like it's leaning towards Bryce. Only because I know Zach's brought it up in future in past Bayou City Boys, probably in future ones he's going to bring it up too. Bryce Young's mindset out there is just what they need. They need somebody that can change the plays as they go and can tell them, oh, hey, no, I'm seeing this. Like, we saw a lot of Deshaun Watson just do what was told, and it bit us. And so I for sure think that's what's going to put him elevated more. But I think for sure you have to go quarterback. You can't, as much as I want a defensive player, because Zach said we need everything, I have to go quarterback. You have to get a face of the franchise, give some hope back into your fan base, give some hope back into the city, and that's where it starts. I mean, when Deshaun got here, everybody was like, oh, okay, we got something now. Yeah. And it's going to be just like that again.
Now, on the flip side of that, we talked about this too. There's a scenario where we're just trying to be fly with it and be like, okay, Chicago, you trade that pick to somebody. Say, for instance, who did you just trade it to at 5? Seattle? No.
Yeah.
The Colts, whoever.
Oh, Seattle.
and you take my quarterback, and you're thinking that I'm going to take a quarterback, which automatically probably leaves you Will Anderson or Jalen Carter at 4 or 5, then I'm going to be a dick and take one of them because I don't see a scenario where Arizona passes up on the other one. So by trading out of that pick, I'm going to guarantee you not to get one of these 2 best defenders.
I can see that wholeheartedly, but my question is then, does Will Levis become an option if he's at 12?
Yes.
Okay.
He really does. If it worked out, great. If it didn't, it stings a little less.
Sure, that makes sense. I mean, looking outside in, like I feel like you're 100% correct. Like you have to get a franchise quarterback. Like that's what builds an NFL franchise. That's what starts to attract talent to want to play with them. I feel like Bryce Young is like a commander on the field. Like he just wants to. He can command a football team. So, I think we can all make the consensus pick that Bryce Young is probably going to be a Texan.
That's what we're banking on. We don't know that. It's just
crazy.
I think there's going to be a shit ton of crazy. That's what's making me nervous, bro. You're correct in thinking that best case scenario is we leave with Bryce Young and a receiver at 12. Like, please God, from my mouth to your ears, that's what I want. Bryce Young at number 2 and Jordan Addison at number 12. That would be the ideal first round for me.
Sure.
But there's a real scenario where that don't happen.
And I mean, okay, so let's finish with 2 quick. Are we okay with Bryce Young as the pick?
Yes.
All right, let's look at 12. I know we're skipping ahead, but we're not going to make another Texans video just because they have a pick at 12. Who you think Jordan Addison is the pick there?
I have Jordan Addison as my wide receiver 1. Yeah. I prefer him over Quentin, over Jackson Smith and Njigba. Mm-hmm. I actually feel like there's a little bit of a drop off between Quentin and Njigba and then the rest of the guys. But then they're bunched together, but they're really good. So I'll entertain the idea of, depending on what defender, say we do get Bryce at 2, what defender's there at 12, that I will wait for 34 to get a receiver. Because there's still going to be really good receivers there, like Josh Downs from North Carolina, Rashee Rice from SMU, Butte. Like, you could still get a good receiver. But if I had my choice, I want Addison at 12. Unless I can get a player like Miles Murphy, if he falls to 12 or something, I get a good pass rusher.
Brian Breezy falls to 12. Are you taking him?
I don't like Breezy. He's a super high motor, super good player. But once there's time for a play to be made, he don't know where the ball's at. He don't exactly finish plays.
Interesting. Okay. Nick, same thing at 12?
Yeah, I mean, if I can get Jordan Addison, I definitely want him. I feel we've said it before with Justin Fields needing help. We've seen it this year. Tua needed help with Tyreek Hill. Jalen Hurts needed help with AJ Brown. You have to set him up for success. I mean, they did the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. They went out and got some receivers for him. So I can see exactly what you have. And I think, even if Cooks comes or stays, whatever, you have him. You have Michi hopefully coming back. You get that Alabama connection again. You got Jordan Addison, 6 foot, 175 pounds. Like, you're giving him as many weapons as you can to start off well. And I mean, defense, we struggled, of course, in the run, but our secondary was very good. And so our offense couldn't do anything. So I feel for sure you're giving a jolt to that offense. You're giving a jolt to your coach, and you're giving a jolt to the city. Like, okay, we're going to compete now. Because as much as it is in the division, it's pretty much Jacksonville and then everybody else.
So my question is, because I agree that you guys need a threat for him to throw the ball to. And obviously you don't want to put him out there without somebody to throw to, because then that leads to usually more quarterback hits. My question is do you take defense at 12 and then, I mean, let's be honest, I don't think you guys are a quarterback away from being a contending team. Yeah. Do you think that, like, next year you guys are in a position where maybe you skip on a wide receiver this year and you take Marvin Harrison next year?
There's too much uncertain. Like, you don't know that you're going to be in a position to do that.
That's true.
This is my opinion. There's such a drop off from Jalen Carter and everybody else, because Houston's number one need on defense is an interior D lineman. we can stop the run just as bad as Chicago. So you need somebody to play next to Malik Collins, and because we have Okoronkwo, we have Rasheem Green, we have Jonathan Bernard. Like, they really played good at the end of the year. So it's like I have to prioritize interior D-line over pass rush. So if I'm not getting Jalen Carter, then I'm willing to say I'm not going to take somebody at 12 that I can get equal talent at 34. Like, if I go Jordan Addison at 12, then I could get Ika from Baylor at 34, who he's not a sack artist, but the fat fuck stops the run. So if I can get a 5 to 6 year receiver and a run stopper, I'll rather go that way than bank on the fact that Rashee Rice is going to be a good receiver in the second round. It's just me.
That makes sense. So we got it locked in. Houston Texans got the first and 12th pick. Second pick and 12th pick. We're taking Bryce Young and Jordan Addison if all was to play out how you wanted it to.
Word.
Correct. Okay, fine. Perfect.
One name I'll throw out there, though, before you cut me off.
Go ahead.
Joey Porter Jr. I know our secondary is strong, but I will throw Joey Porter Jr. from Penn State or Christian Gonzalez from Oregon out there, 2 corners that would help our team. Dogs.
Christian is a dog. Texans fans, if you made it to this point of the video, make sure you hit like, comment something down below that you think the Texans should do. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you check out Bayou City Boys. Dropping new episodes every single week with all Houston content. And we'll see y'all in the next one. Doses.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.